Life and death are in the power of the tongue. We are fed by the fruit of our lips. The tongue breaketh the bones. These are all verses from the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh. What's it saying? Basically that words are powerful. Words can do damage. Words can fulfill you. In teaching, an excellent instructor has to understand the power of words and how to use words skillfully. It's like being a chemist, but of the mind. One should never use words like try, because trying emphasizes that it's difficult. And subconsciously, trying states that it's not happening. For example, if you're sitting now, try to stand up. Go ahead, try to stand up. No, don't stand up. Just try. Just keep trying. So it's kind of like you start, you kind of almost do it. You start, you almost do it. So subconsciously, that's what trying really implies. So rather than try, we want to say do. What to do. And also state it in the positive. We should never say stuff like, try not to drop your hands. Try not to kick so high. Try not to strain so much. Those are the words of really low-level instructors. And you'll hear that kind of language in most martial arts schools. Instead, we should be saying, keep your hands up. Remember to keep your hands up. Kick a little lower. Focus on your balance. See, stating in the positive. We shouldn't say, don't go so fast. Sometimes we slip and we do say that. We should say, slow down. Because when people are doing something repetitively, their brain goes into a zone. Whether it's running, biking, or doing dancing steps, or doing a series of punches and kicks. If it's repetitive, it's almost like being in a semi-hypnotic state. It's a trance. You're really going in a sort of a trance. So when people are going into trance and you state things in the negative, like don't do this, don't do that, what happens is this. The subconscious mind does not know the difference, number one, between the real world or a fantasy world. Number two, it doesn't hear don't. It's like me saying, don't think of a big red balloon. The don't part doesn't register. It's like me saying, don't be aware of your feet. The opposite happens. So the skillful instructor learns how to use words skillfully and also what words to avoid. Also when explaining different aspects of techniques, especially with beginners. For example, you never heard me say front snap kick. When I'm teaching a beginner, I tell them this is the front kick. I don't say it's the front snap kick. I don't say it's the front thrust kick. Just the front kick. Because snap has a different meaning for different people. Especially as a beginner. They may snap their ligament trying to kick too fast, too hard to make it snap. So we don't use that kind of language. And also, in explaining techniques, especially to someone who has not done a particular category of techniques, for example, wrist techniques, I don't really say wrist lock. And I also don't explain when I'm talking to someone about Hapkido who has no idea, never seen a class sometimes, never doesn't know anything about it, right? I only saw maybe a warm-up. I don't say stuff like, oh yes, and there's a lot of wrist locking and wrist dislocation and breaking techniques. That is a red flag for any normal person. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. What am I getting myself into? So, we don't use that kind of language. Also because someone whose eyes may light up when they hear that, wrist snapping, locking, and breaking joints, that's the person that'll get into class and they'll hurt somebody because they have the wrong concept in their mind. So we have to be very careful how we explain, how we speak about what we do. Even something like break fall. Break, fall. Think about that. There are two words that give off red signals in the brain. One is break in relation to martial arts, and the other is fall. So many times, people have come interested in martial arts, interested in self-defense, and for very good reasons too. And what would happen? A student or instructor walk up to them and start talking. And by the way, and keep talking, which is another big mistake. They start talking and they would go on and on and on and on and on. 20 minutes, non-stop. There's a couple of issues here. Number one, you're wearing them down. The instructor and student thinks that they're helping this person with lots of information. No, you're wearing them down. It's overkill. That's first of all. Two, you're distracting them from really getting a sense or a feel for themselves to see what's going on and to feel how the place feels for them. And number three, the more you're talking, eventually, the more you're going to put stumbling blocks there. What's going to come out? They're there because they're interested. They're there because somehow they got motivated to be there. But the more you speak, eventually you'll start hitting on things that'll start chipping away at their motivation. Start chipping away at their reasoning, thinking, well, is this a good school for me? So words are powerful. But like anything else, words are powerful when they're used by the skilled speaker. And the skilled speaker is this. If you're skilled at violin, then your violin playing will be skillful. And if you're skilled at playing the trumpet, then your trumpet playing will be very skillful. But if you're skilled at the trumpet and try to play the violin, it's going to be a disaster. And if you're skilled at the violin and try to play the trumpet, it'll be a disaster. So the common mistake is this. People think because they're good at speaking about one thing, that they're good about speaking about other things. That is not the case. When it comes to the martial arts, if you have not learned from the person that built the school, if you have not learned from the master the skill of enrolling students, you might not have the skill you think you have. And very often, those are the members that actually drive students away. So when we speak to people about our martial arts, we have to be very careful, number one. And number two, we cannot speak so much, because nothing will replace their experience. But your description of what it's about may be the one thing that stops them from reaching or getting to the point where they can have their own personal experience. The best thing one can do to enroll a student is to simply smile and say hello, and then keep it moving. The next best thing is to smile and say hello and say, if you need anything or have any questions, feel free to flag me down or just ask anyone here. Nothing will create more magic than a beautiful smile, an open heart, and a warm welcoming. This is enrollment. Signing up, signing papers, that's not enrollment. Enrollment is this: when their experience of the dojan or their experience of you says to themselves, says to their mind, their heart, and their gut feeling, this is the right place for me. I need to be here. I want more of this in my life. I want to be a part of this. That's enrollment. Not until they're enrolled will anyone sign up anyway. It's enrollment that causes people to sign up. And it's staying enrolled that keeps people re-signing, renewing, and continuing on their martial arts journey. Now, understand that everyone cannot be enrolled, because everyone does not come for the same reasons, and many even come for the wrong reasons. But to be an excellent instructor, to be a top 10 instructor, and to become a master, you must master enrollment. Every time you teach, every time you speak, you must master the art of enrollment by actions, but also by your non-actions, by your words, and also by your non-words, meaning without even speaking. For example, when certain individuals walk into the room, let's take Chunks Dominique, for example. When she walks into a room, she commands respect without saying anything. Notice, I did not say demand respect. I said command respect. When someone demands respect, they're usually using words, or some show of force, or a combination of both. When someone commands respect, the essence of their being, their state of mind, their soul, their presence speaks for itself. They needn't say anything. That is commanding respect. So you can't enroll people the same way. Just with your presence, the essence of your being, without saying much of anything. Simply smiling. That is mastery.